Again, I give you guys certain questions to drive certain information, right? Key information. Somebody say key information. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so what we're gonna do is we'll review what we've gone over the last couple of days to see how much I remember, right? I'll ask those same questions. I want to see what you can pull from your memory, but it's okay if you have to use your notes. Remember, the key is being able to remember as much of this as you can. Now, I will not Q&A you over the types of perms that you guys need to learn. What I will do instead is I'm going to give you guys a PowerPoint that's going to point out that information for you guys, because there's a lot of questions that I really don't expect you to be able to answer. It's a lot of information, but I do want you to get your pens and papers ready because you are going to be taking a lot of notes this morning, okay? Everybody got that? Yeah. All right, so let's kick it off. Let's go back to the beginning. Who can tell me the 3 chemical texture services that are performed by barbers? The 3 chemical texture services that are performed by barbers. Permanent wave. Curl reformation. And relaxes. All right, relaxes turn curly hair straight. Reformation curl turns curly hair into a larger curl pattern, and permanent wave turns straight hair curly. All right, now why should we examine our client's scalp before performing chemical texture services?
See if they have cuts, abrasions, open pores, open spores.
All right, that's right. We're checking the scalp to see if there's anything that's going to prevent us from being able to perform this service. Sores, infections, cuts, anything of that nature, all right? Now, again, what are my 6 characteristics of the hair itself that I'm going to be analyzing for? Porosity. Density. Growth pattern. Texture. I heard elasticity. I got one more. Length of the hair. Very good. Porosity. Density. Elasticity. Texture. Length of the hair. Natural growth pattern. All right? Right? What are the 2 principal actions involved in chemical texture services? The 2 principal actions involved in chemical texture services. See, but you know, who wants to answer that? Chemical and physical. I thought I heard myself say that yesterday. The 2 principal actions involved in chemical texture services is physical and chemical. Now, which layer of the hair shaft is responsible for the hair's flexibility, elasticity, and shape? Don't guess. I need you to tell me the answer. You said the right answer on your end. I heard you. Cortex. That's absolutely right. Cuticle is the outermost layer. It protects the cortex, right? But everything happens in the cortex. Y'all remember me saying that? All of your amino acid, all of your keratinized protein, that is in the cortex, right? The weight of your hair, the strength, the flexibility, everything about it is determined by the cortex. The cuticle is simply an outer layer of scales that protects that inner layer, all right? Each of you, right? So if I'm you now, I'm sitting in your seat, I'm a student, I'm asking myself this question now. How much of this information do I really know? How much of this information can I really go into my memory if I see it in the form of a question and answer, right? Because you're going to have 10 random questions that could be anything that I just asked, that we just went over on your state exam, all right? And there's more. We haven't even talked about perms yet. So, let's get into it. Chemical texture services, types of perms. This is what I need for you to get your pen and paper ready. Okay? I'm not going to ask you questions. I'm going to give you information. Okay? So I need you reading, writing, and retaining. All right? Read, write, retain. Chemical protection service, types of perms. So as your educator, what I've done is this. Remember, these are long chapters, right? What I've done is I've gone in and I pulled out the meat for you. All right? I've gone into these topics and I pulled out the meat. So you take notes of what I'm giving you, and it's basically going to break down the important aspects of each one of these perms. All right? Everybody get that? All right. Chemical protection services, types of perms. First on our list is our alkaline perms, also known as cold waves. Alkaline perms, also known as cold waves. Alkaline perms, the active ingredient for them is ATG. When you see ATG, ammonium thioglycolate, that is an ammonia-based product, and that is the active ingredient, right? That's the active ingredient of this particular perm. The pH is 9.0 to 9.6, right? And it's not uncommon to see a pH question on an exam. All right? Now, that's a high pH, so we know that it's alkaline. We know that it's going to penetrate. The benefits of this particular perm is a strong curl pattern and fast processing time. Usually processes within 5 to 20 minutes, right? Now, this is generally used when a strong curl pattern is desired, right? And it's recommended for coarse, thick, or resistant hair. True acid waves. We're talking about the types of perms. True acid waves. Active ingredient GMTG, that's glycerol monothioglycolate. All right, and the pH range is 4.5 to 7.0. All right, now I know what you're thinking. That's acid to neutral, right? How is that going to penetrate? I'll get into that in a second. All right, now these waves are considered endothermic. What does that mean? That means it requires an outside heat source. Something like a blow dryer, right, to activate the product. All right, now benefits are softer curl patterns, all right, slower processing time, but more controllable processing time, right, 15 to 25 minutes, and it's gentle on the hair. True acid waves are typically used for fragile and color-treated hair. All right, hey, baby. Note. All right, although pH of 7 is neutral on the pH scale, a pH of 5.0 is neutral when it comes to hair. Right? Every step in the pH, every step on your pH chart represents a 10-fold change, right? So 7.0 is actually 100 times more alkaline than actual hair. That's why those substances are also able to open the cuticle. Next, you have acid-balanced waves. All right? Your active ingredients is ATG and GMTG. Right? ATG in your waving solution, GMTG in your activator, and they have to be mixed before you apply. Right? The pH is 7.8 to 8.2. These are exothermic waves. Right? Like I said, they have 3 components, the waving solution, the activator, and the neutralizer, right? The waving solution in the activator, when it's mixed, right, it releases heat and increases the rate of the chemical reaction. This in turn shortens your processing time, right? Now be careful. If you mix one with the neutralizer, you're going to get a violent reaction on the hair. So be careful and make sure that it is the activator and the waving solution that you're mixing. The neutralizer is what's going to stop those products from working, right? Now this product is recommended for porous or damaged hair. All right, next we have ammonia-free waves. Now, ammonia-free waves uses alkanolamines to replace the ammonia, right? So there's no ammonia in this product, but it's these alkanolamines. It's a different active ingredient. Our pH 7.0 to 9.6. Now, replacing it, it doesn't have that odor. So these are popular because it doesn't have that odor. If you've ever witnessed someone doing a perm, if anyone ever came to sun, you notice it has that loud ammonia smell well, ammonia-free doesn't have the smell. That's why they're popular amongst some stylists, right? But now you have to know that the alkanolamines evaporate slowly, which is why it don't give off the odor. However, it maintains a consistent pH level throughout the processing. This can be damaging for the hair. All right, so that's what you have to know about ammonia-free waves. It is recommended on porous to normal hair. All right, next we have thiol-free waves. All right, thiol-free waves uses cysteamine or mercaptamine as its primary reducing agent. Right, so if you ever see the question, waving lotion is also known as what, and you see the answer, reducing agent, there you go. All right, now it has a pH range of 7.0 to 9.6, but these can be just as damaging as thiol formulations. All right, so remember that any type of product that can process hair can also damage hair. You got to remember that any product, I don't care how mild the product, if it can process the hair, it can damage the hair. So you need to be mindful of that. All right, this type of wave is recommended on porous to normal hair. Next, we have our low pH waves, right? Sulfites, and bisulfites. They're your alternative to your ammonium thioglycolate, your ammonia, right? They have a lower pH of 6.5 to 7.0, but again, this is more alkaline than the natural hair, which is, what is a neutral pH for hair? Who can tell me? 5.0, very good, all right? These products are marketed as body waves. They're weak products and they do not produce a firm curl, all right? But they are recommended for normal, fine, or damaged hair, all right? So you use this when you don't want a strong curl on the hair. No, perms are marketed in 3 different strengths: mild, normal, and resistant. Pre-wraps. Pre-wraps are formulations that are applied before wrapping the hair, right? Pre-wraps helps to equalize your porosity and to ensure even penetration of the waving solution. You need to know that. Wave processing and formulation. Processing time is based on the strength of the solution and the porosity of the hair. Processing time is based on the strength of the solution and the porosity of the hair. The strength of the solution is determined by the degree of concentration of its active ingredient. So, of course, your resistant solution is going to have more ATG than your mild solution. Y'all get that? Well, no, it's the process. We're talking about the processing time. The curl pattern itself is going to be determined by other factors, including the elasticity and the texture. Okay. All right. Now, it's important to know that most of the processing time takes place within the first 5 to 10 minutes. Right. Now, remember when we talked about the alkanolamines, we said that it maintains its normal pH throughout. You know, it consistently maintains it. Whereas if you're using the ammonia-free, the ATG, it's going to process within the first 5 to 10 minutes, and then that processing is going to slow down, right? The wave has reached its peak form when a firm letter S pattern appears, right? When you see a firm letter S, that's when your wave has reached its peak, right? Now, if the hair begins to get frizzy, that's an indication that the processing time has reached its maximum, and now you're beginning to overprocess the hair. All right? Now, overprocessed hair appears to be curly when it's wet and frizzy when it's dry. Now, underprocessing, it is also possible to underprocess the hair. If you do, it will form a wink, limp curl. All right? Test curls. Test curls are to be done before performing the permanent wave service. Test curls are done before performing the service. All right, as with all of our chemical services, we have some form of test that we give before performing that service, right? Test curls are done in 3 areas: on the head, the top, the side, and in the nape area, right? It helps you determine the following aspects about your service. The speed of the wave formation, because remember, just like when we test color, we're looking at the time it takes to reach our desired color. Well, we're testing a curl now. We're looking at the time that it's going to take to process our wave. And once we realize that firm letter S pattern in our wave, we can now document exactly how long it took for us to get that pattern. And now we know when we go into our service how much processing time I'm going to need in that area of the head. Because remember, it's not uncommon for different areas of the head to have varying degrees of characteristics, which means my hair can be more porous on the top than it is in the back, right? It can be more porous on the side or less porous than it is on the top. So that's why I need to do these, right? That's why this is important. All right, you're also going to identify your resistant areas as well as the appropriateness of the product. That is the product that I'm testing this client with right now. Is this the right product for me to use? Do I like the results that I just got in my test curves? That's why you want to do these, all right? All right. Neutralization. Neutralization is the process that stops the action of the permanent wave solution and rebuilds the disulfide bond. Post-perm care. Post-perm care. Most manufacturers recommend 24 to 48 hours before giving a shampoo. All right? Deposit-only hair color can be applied within 3 days. Deposit-only. Deposit-only hair color